So the grid has lined up for the final race of today. Qualifying day, qualifying this morning, and qualifying races this afternoon. That is the car that will take pole position. Darryl O'Young in the Craft Bamboo Racing number 95 car, alongside the 33 car of Ye Hong Lee in the Mercedes GT3 Evo. 28 is next, Chan Wei An in the Audi Sport Asia Team TSRT Audi. Car number 28, alongside the number 38 car of Marchi Lee. '66 is next, that's the car of Min Hang, the Toro Racing GT3 Evo Mercedes, getting into the zone, not being distracted by the cameras. And then the number 9 car of Tsang Can, Toro Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. 36 is next, Billy Low Kai Feng in the Tianchi Zuva Team Audi R8. And then the number 3 car of Liu Li Car, Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes AMG for Liu Li Car as well. Car number 12 is next, Bei Serling in the Grid Motorsport Lamborghini Huracan. Didn't have a completely stress-free day yesterday. Let's hope today is a better day for the Lamborghini driver. Yao Liang Bo, Team Kinetic Racing Mercedes AMG. As counted them up yesterday, I think there's 12 of them or thereabouts, Mercedes. And very smart face masks as well for the girls around the number 5 car of Chris Cha, Phantom Pro Racing Mercedes AMG GT4 car. 68 car is next, Liu Zhu Wei, beg your pardon. In the 23 car, it's Eric Kwong in the Kiddie World Racing Mercedes AMG GT4, car 23, Eric Kwong. Great livery on that car, very unusual colour scheme and works very well indeed. Brian Lee is next, slightly more traditional colouring for the car in this part of the world. Many years they've had quite shiny, colourful liveries. 83 is next, that's Liu Chi Wen, Parkview Motor Lamborghini Huracan. Number 99, Kwang Hoi Lun in the Kangs Racing Company Mercedes AMG GT4 car, with a thumbs up for the cameras. Henry Kwong, car 21, Wang Hao, the Phantom Pro Racing GT4 Mercedes AMG. 34 is next, Chen Sung Cheng, Toro Racing BMW M4 GT4, with a thumbs up ahead. You see they've waited quite a while for their race. 59 is Wong Kwai Wah in the Song Weng Racing Team BMW M4 GT4. 27, Lo Ka Chung from Hong Kong in the 778 Autosport Lotus Exige S. Alongside the number 7, Liu Kin Chong Lotus Exige. Thumbs up, ready to go. Diminishing light will happen soon. Local time here in Macau, 5:10 in the afternoon. 42 is Learn Yok Choi in the McLaren 570S GT4 car. Number 11, Lai Chi Ho in the Song Wen Racing Team BMW M4 GT4. And what you can see is that for Macau GT Cup, once again, we have a very, very impressive field. Towards the back of the grid, we've got the 88 Lotus 778 Autosports car of Lopak U. And with the advent of the Macau GT Cup in 2008, we have Daryl O'Young on pole position in 2020, the driver that took the first Macau GT Cup race win back in 2008. Just seeing the number 10 car of Lo Hong Poi, 778 Autosport Lotus Exige S. So, very busy grid and loads of personnel to clear from the grid ahead of the final race of the afternoon here at Macau. And a great shot, the overhead aerial shot, looking down a spectacular grid. These cars around Macau, just spectacular, I think is the best word to describe the GT Cup cars around the gear circuit. Confirmation of the grid. We just saw it, Daryl O'Young alongside Ye Hong Lee, two Mercedes at the front. Back to the third row, all Mercedes lock out again, and Audi and Mercedes on the fourth row of the grid. Right the way down the order, we'll see representations of, we'll just count them up, I think it's 11 Mercedes AMGs, GT3 and GT4s, Lotus, BMW, Lamborghini, Audi and McLaren, all represented here in the Macau GT Cup, which has grown and grown since 2008. Eduardo Mortara made the switch from winning the Macau Grand Prix in Formula 3 machinery to winning in various forms of GT car. And Eduardo Mortara, very much known as Mr. Macau, and was very much part of the era that saw the GT Cup race grow and grow, and recently has become the FIA GT World Cup. Not this year, it is the Macau GT Cup, but the collection of mouth-watering machinery not diminished for one moment. Beautiful supercars lined up on the grid for the Macau GT Cup, for the 67th Macau Grand Prix. So the BMW safety car planted firmly in the centre of the grid. The personnel that were tending to the cars on the grid being given word to retire to pit lane, taking the big tyre trolleys with them. There was maybe a hint or a suspicion that today might potentially see a change in weather, which would have necessitated a change of tyres. That worry has gone away as the day has gone on. It's been a cooler day than yesterday. Temperature now at Macau, very humid, 88% humidity, 23 degrees. It's been around 23, 24 all day here Saturday at Macau. So as the big heavy tyre trolleys wheeled off the grid, that operation takes a little while in itself. We get this wonderful aerial view of the hugely colourful grid, favouring the Mercedes as far as the entry numbers are concerned, in both GT3 and GT4 iterations. Engines fired up now to have the final countdown for the formation lap, with Darrell O'Young won the first GT Cup race here at Macau back in 2008, and Darrell O'Young on pole position. What about Darrell O'Young? Hong Kong driver, born in Vancouver in Canada, 40 years old, same age as Rob Huff. 3 months apart they were born. Darrell O'Young born in March in 1980, Rob Huff born in December in 1979. But Darrell O'Young, from 2006 to 2009, was busy winning championships in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, 2 titles, won the Macau Grand Prix, competed in Porsche Cup Asia in 2007, FIA World Touring Car Championship in 2010, Bathurst 12-hour winner in 2011 and 2012, onto the FIA World Touring Car Championship in 2013, and competed in the Le Mans 24 hours. Second in the LMGTE AM category. Onto the FIA World Endurance Championship 2014, GT Asia Series won in 2015. The racing pedigree for Darrell O'Young really does speak for itself. And Macau GT Cup form, well, 8th visit this year in 2020 as they go off on their final formation lap behind the BMW safety car. As we said, won in 2008 in the inaugural running of the Macau GT Cup, second in 2014, 9th in 2015, 5th 2016, didn't get to start in 2017, didn't get to finish in 2017 rather, didn't start in 2016, and 14th in 2018. So, pretty impressive resume, I think you'll find, for Darrell O'Young, I'm sure you'll agree, and has been very much the pace setter in the 3 sessions we have had so far at Macau this weekend. 2 free practice sessions yesterday and a qualifying session this morning. 10:30 this morning was when they qualified. The time now locally 5:20 in the afternoon, fast approaching. And so the cars on their formation lap they really are spectacular, and in the diminishing light as well, these wonderful high definition pictures that we get from Macau, beamed around the world with the headlights on. The GT cars, I think you might agree, look really rather proper, and a few inspired choices have taken place in the assembly of this timetable and entry for the 2020 Macau Grand Prix, and putting the GT Cup cars on late in the afternoon with the potential to be a bit later if there was a delay was inspired, because we get these quite wonderful high definition shots of mouth-watering machinery competing on a mouth-watering circuit. So the formation lap behind the BMW safety car, well underway, up through the twisty mountain section, led by Darrell O'Young, 33 car of Ye Hong Lee, Toro Racing Mercedes, all Mercedes front row of the grid. Chan Wei-an in the Audi Sports Asia Team TSRT Audi R8. Marchi Lee forms up the second row of the grid with Audi and Audi. And up towards Donna Maria and the completion of the third sector on the circuit. All the cars, headlights ablaze for the final race of the afternoon here at Macau. Wherever you are, if you're back in the UK, coming up to 9:25 local time back in the UK, 5:23 in the afternoon, local time in Macau. And you can see the light does diminish really rather quickly this time in the afternoon at Macau, and spectacular pictures of this really quite mouth-watering grid for the final race of qualifying day here at Macau. There we go, BMW will peel off into the pit lane. We are about to get the Macau GT Cup qualifying race of 8 laps underway here at Macau. Up towards the line, rolling start. Up towards the line they come. The two Mercedes at the front of the field, very, very close together at one stage. And who's going to get the drop? It is going to be Darrell Young that gets the better of the start. Gets the number 95 car just ahead of the car of Ye Hong Lee. And the two of them are taking with them the number 28 machine of Chan Wei-an in the Audi, third on the grid. And it is bathed in light as we see them head down towards Lisboa. Just having a look down on the inside was Ye Hong Lee into Lisboa, up towards San Francisco. Quite splendid. I don't remember when we've had a GT Cup race with all of the headlights on in this way, but great scene. Darrell Young doing his best on the twisty section to put in a little bit of daylight between himself and Ye Long. Two Mercedes at the front of the field. Darrell Young, winner of the first ever Macau GT Cup race in 2008. Inch perfect to the barriers. These, of course, hugely powerful cars, wide, big cars as well. Challenge as they go through this section of the circuit, through Police, up towards Moorish, through Moorish, around Donna Maria, and on to the Macau hairpin comes Darrell Young in the Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 car. Not the work of a moment to get these cars around the Macau hairpin. You need to get the entry absolutely right to ensure the quickest and neatest exit from the corner. And if it goes wrong on the exit of the corner, well, it could go very wrong indeed, with such big powerful cars tiptoeing around the single file Macau hairpin. Darrell Young up towards the line, got a yellow flag being waved there on the start-finish line. Safety car deployed, so we do have to have something recovered from around the circuit, but I've not seen what as yet. Now the safety car is going to pick them up very quickly. They've just completed one racing lap, so BMW safety car on standby, ready to go, and sees the field come round the corner, picks them up, picks up the pace. And now, as we saw during the qualification race for the Macau gear race, it's all about controlling behind the safety car, keeping heat in the tyres and minimising the damage of the safety car intervention before we can get racing back underway. I'm not sure we've seen quite why we've got the safety car intervention, but for sure we have. Safety car boards being displayed right the way around the circuit. The yellow flags are waving. Everybody doing a very good job of coming into line as soon as they saw that full course yellow indication coming out. Darrell Young leads from Ye Hong Lee. Number 28 car in third place of Chan Wei An, the Audi Sport Asia team, Audi R8, through the twists and turns of Macau, Maternity, Teddy Ip, through the Solitude S's behind the safety car. And the thing about these GT Cup cars, they just want to be unleashed around the gear circuit. They are near pussycats behind the BMW safety car, but the opportunity of really opening these cars up is quite a prospect, and always makes for an extremely exciting race. So, fair bit of safety car usage this afternoon in the 5 races that we've had. GT Cup race 1 lap old when the safety car was deployed. Moorish corner, the right-hander. Darrell Young leading the field behind the BMW safety car. Waved yellows right the way around the course. Marshals do such a super job at every respect here for the Macau Grand Prix. The importance of good flag marshals on a street circuit like Macau, absolutely imperative. And the only communication that they have, along with the lights to the drivers inside the cars, it's got to be spot on. The indication of danger, the yellow flags, the indication of a faster car coming up behind, the blue flags, and for some, the checkered flag, like Rob Huff, who's just been an historic 10-time winner at Macau, 10-time race winner. Just goes to show as well just how important qualifying is here at Macau. That was very much the advantage that Rob had going into the qualification race, because they spent most of their race like this behind the safety car, and our hope is that that's not going to be the case for Macau GT Cup race as they continue to circulate behind the BMW, official vehicle of the Macau Grand Prix for 2020. Two laps complete now for the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup. And I'm just getting word that the start is under investigation. So I'll bring you more details of that when I get them. But just a question mark over the start of the race. I won't name any names until I know a little bit more about the detail of that. But, there is a question mark over whether the start of the race was quite as it should be. We shall see. I'm sure more news will come in due course as they're behind the safety car. But that is an intriguing piece of news. We are under safety car. Darrell Young it is that leads, car number 95. And what a great entry it is. We mentioned 25 cars in total for the GT Cup, Macau GT Cup for 2020. And what a fantastic sight they make in the diminishing light here at Macau. And once it goes dark very, very quickly in Macau. So the evening can start very early. So confirmation coming through on the screen that we do have an investigation of the start for number 95, Darryl O'Young. So that comes through indicated from race control. Darryl O'Young being investigated for the start. The number 23 car was the car that had hit the barrier at the Solitude S's. Eric Kwong in the GT4 Mercedes AMG, but 95 car being investigated, the race leader Darryl O'Young being investigated for the start of the race. So we'll bring you any news updates that we get of that from race control. Thank you very much indeed to the press room at Macau, Nikki and the team, keeping us up to date with all the information as it pours into the press room at Macau. Huge operation organising the world's press for this event, presenting its own challenges in 2020, but the flow of information exquisite as always. So big thank you to the team. And after saying all that, I hope they haven't turned me off. Making their way around the Melco hairpin. They will be at the end of this lap completing 3 laps of an 8-lap qualification race. And they really do just need to be unleashed on the circuit when they can be. That must be a yes. So yes, the number 23 car is recovered, Eric Kwong's car, so on the back of the flatbed recovery vehicle, which hopefully will indicate that quite soon we can be back under racing conditions. It does look like it's getting pretty dark there now in Macau, and although television cameras have a very good way of lightening up the picture, I remember quite clearly how this point in the afternoon, 25 to 6, the lux level goes pretty low, and GT cars really do lend themselves to these dusky conditions with the headlights on. The lights are still on the top of the safety car as well, so at the moment they're going to be going on to another lap potentially. And that will be the completion at the end of this lap, the half distance lap in an 8-lap qualification race. And as yet, no confirmation of the start of the race being investigated. What will be happening is race control stewards will be investigating video of the start, potentially reports from judges of fact for the start as well, and we hope a decision would be made reasonably quickly, so we know what we're dealing with is what we see or not, because what we're seeing is Darryl O'Young leading from pole position, the winner of the first inaugural Macau GT Cup race here back in 2008. The runner-up in the following year in 2009. Still the lights are on the BMW safety car, leading the field around. Still under a full course yellow. Another lap completed, and just what a glorious selection of cars. Safety car coming in this lap, so indication that the safety car is coming in this lap. BMW threads its way around the Macau hairpin, down through the final series of turns on the final timing sector on the circuit. The beasts will once again be unleashed on the gear circuit here at Macau in just a few moments. So, final chance to get a bit more heat into the tyres. Run down towards Fisherman's. I'll bend the final turn before we get the race back underway. Half distance to be completed at the end of this lap, which they are about to do now, and get racing back underway. Green flags wave, so the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup back underway. Here we go, number 95 in the ever-increasing evening conditions. Number 95. This is going to be, thank you to Nicky in the press room. This is going to be the final lap because of the diminishing lights here at Macau. Not surprised about that. Cameras do compensate for the diminishing light. You can see in the background the nightlife is beginning to illuminate, and the neon lights of Macau become evident for the first time, and this is why we're getting indication that this is going to be the final lap of the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup. Down through Teddy Yip goes Darryl Young, number 95 in the Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes AMG GT3 car. Second place still, grid order with the 33 car of Ye Hong Lee. GT3 Evo, that Mercedes. Darryl Young, headlights ablaze on the 95 car, out of Moorish Corner. One can only imagine what the lighting is like if race control are taking the decision to make this the final lap of the race. Diminishing light, you can see the headlights illuminating the yellow and black distinctive world famous barriers around the Macau circuit, and with that in mind, you get the idea it really is getting pretty dark the way they're illuminating the wall. So as we lose light for the final race of the day, everyone had done really so well up until the point that we went racing. Darryl Young comes round the final corner and gets the final checkered flag of qualifying day here at Macau. Pole position and the win for Darryl Young. Potentially a question mark over the start of the race, which we're not going to be able to bring you information on that straight away. But there is certainly a question mark over the investigation for Darryl's start of the race, but he won the inaugural Macau GT Cup race, and now he adds to that tally with winner in the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup. Number 95, Darryl Young, through Lisboa up towards San Francisco, and that's the end of the qualification race after 5 laps. You might not be surprised that Darryl Young also posted the fastest lap of the race. 2 minutes 22.731 in the Craft Bamboo Mercedes AMG. And Daryl O'Young will get to stand on the top step of a rather dark podium, I fancy, in just a few minutes' time here at Macau. There will also be a press conference. We didn't hear the press conference for the Macau gear race. And our coverage will end in 16 minutes or thereabouts at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock local time, when the circuit is opened and the streets of Macau can be reclaimed by the inhabitants of Macau, because throughout the daylight it is the property of racing drivers. And Daryl O'Young makes his way around Donna Maria for the final time today into the Macau hairpin. Marshals waving all of their flags around the circuit. No doubt that the race has come to an end. Checkered flag being displayed after 5 laps around the gear circuit. Daryl O'Young, Ye Hong Lee and Chan Wei An. Mercedes and Audi on the podium for the qualification race. And bearing in mind that potentially there will be investigations going on, at very least we've had notification that there might be an investigation into Daryl O'Young's start of the race, then could potentially affect the grid lineup order for the Macau GT Cup tomorrow. But that news will come, I fancy, after we go off air here on this world feed coverage of the 67th running of the Macau Grand Prix. Daryl O'Young takes the checkered flag in the 5-lap Macau GT Cup race from number 33, Ye Hong Lee. Second place, the number 28 car in third place of Chan Wei An in the Audi. And a rundown of the order of all 24 finishers in the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup. There it is, the 95 car of pole position and race winner Daryl O'Young is getting himself unstrapped inside the car. Such beautiful cars, these GT Cup cars. Such a prestigious race to be a part of. Out of the car gets Daryl O'Young, pops the straps back into the car. I've heard no more about the investigation into the start of the race, so perhaps it's looking more likely that Daryl O'Young is the victor and will take the top step of the podium, making way for all the drivers to be weighed. Marchie Lee steps onto the weigh scales down in Parc Fermé, weighed with all of their equipment, the hands device, the helmets, gloves, have to be weighed at the end of every race. Cars weighed as well, and the combined weight of driver and car all has to be within the technical regulations. And so that's our final race of the day on qualifying day here at Macau. A long day, the longest day of all 3 of the days for the 67th Macau Grand Prix. Tomorrow It's about the 12-lap races for all 5 of the categories. Macau Touring Car Cup, 12-lap race at 9 o'clock local time in the morning. 12-lap race for the Greater Bay Area GT Cup race. 12 laps for the Macau Gear race. 12 laps for the Macau GT Cup race. And then the big build-up to the Formula 4 Macau Grand Prix for 2020. What a treat it is to have the Macau Grand Prix this year. It's a different look. It's a celebration of all that is fantastic about motorsport in this part of the world. Macau and the surrounding regions. Hong Kong, China, Taipei, all represented over the 3 days of the 2020 Macau Grand Prix. Let's have a look back at the highlights of the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup. So a 5-lap race for the qualification race for the Macau GT Cup. Remember I said it gets pretty dark pretty quickly at Macau. That scene tells the story. I think it is getting pretty dark, almost night time here at Macau. And potentially a podium presentation coming up for the final race of the day. I say potentially because with the diminishing light, the photographers